Good morning, students. In this class, we are going to discuss about transmission mode. So, what are the types of transmission modes? First, we study what is transmission mode. So, actually, in the data communication, the data transmission mode defines the direction of flow of information between two communication devices. When you consider the network, the communication between two devices is very important. So at that time, the direction of flow of information is also very important. So the transmission mode defines the direction of flow of data between the system. This direction of flow of information that specify the direction from source to destination or destination to source. That is from one place to another in the computer network. In the open system interconnection, that is in the OSI model layer, the physical layer is designed the direction of data in which the data needs to travel to reach the receiver system or node. Then what are the types of data transmission modes? So mainly they are classified into two, parallel and serial transmission. The serial transmission again divided into three types: asynchronous, synchronous, isochronous. First, the data transmission mode can be characterized into three types based on the direction of exchange of information. So based on the direction, we can classify it into three types. First one, simplex, half duplex, then third one, full duplex. Already we discussed in the first unit itself the data flow techniques. So there is a direction of flow of data. What is simplex means? In the simplex method, the data travels in one direction. If you consider the source is A and destination is B, the data travels only from A to B. That is simplex method in only one direction. Then half duplex method, the data travels in one direction in one time and other direction in next time. Okay, so data can traverse both direction but not at the same time. So one direction from A to B and other direction from B to A. Okay, but not at the same time. Then full duplex method, the data can travel in both directions at the same time. So these are the three types of transmission modes based on the direction of exchange of information. So this is the diagram for simplex, half duplex and full duplex. In the simplex method, the data flow from source to destination only. So there is a direction of data, only one direction. Then half duplex, two directions the data can send and receive, but at a time only one direction. So direction of data at time 1, source to destination. At time 2, direction is destination to source. Okay. Then full duplex, direction of data all the times. Anytime both source and destination can send and receive the data. So this is the three methods, three types of transmission mode based on the direction. Then the data transmission mode can be categorized into two types based on the synchronization between the transmitter and the receiver. One is synchronous, another one asynchronous. So mainly there are two types based on the synchronization. But one more method is there, that's isochronous. But normally, mainly synchronous and asynchronous. The data transmission mode can be categorized into two types based on number of bits sent simultaneously in the network, that is serial and parallel. These are the categorized. First one is based on the direction of exchange of information. Second types of data types, that is based on the synchronization between the transmitter and the receiver. Third, data transmission modes can be categorized based on the number of bits sent. Okay, so there are three different types of data transmission modes. Then parallel. First one, parallel. In the parallel data transmission mode is a mode in which the data bits are sent parallelly at a time. That means the transmission of n bits at the same time simultaneously. You listen the block diagram. There is sender and receiver. There are number of bits are there because the collection of bits, that is the information. So only information consists number of bits, collection of bits. So direction of flow, you know. Then here, so bits are B1, B2, B3, B4 up to B8. All the bits are sent from sender to receiver at the same time simultaneously. You listen the next example, sender receiver. There are 8 bits are there. The 8 bits are sent from sender to receiver. The bits are 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0. So all the bits are transferred from source to destination at the same time. So we need the 8 lines. So all the bits are transmitted parallelly. At the same time, all the bits are transmitted. Then this type of transmission is mostly used for the short distance communication. So in the parallel transmission mode, the multiple transmission lines are used in such modes of this type of transmission. So what are the advantages of parallel transmission mode? Sir, it is very easy to program or implement. Next one, the data transmission speed is high due to the n transmissional channel. Then what are the disadvantages of using parallel transmission mode is it requires more transmission channels and hence cost ineffective. Then interference in data bits, likewise in video conferencing. Then next type of transmission mode, serial transmission mode, in which the data bits are sent serially one after the other at a time over the transmission channel. So after sending one bit, then the sender can send the next bit. So one bit after the other at a time. So this is the block diagram. Direction of flow, sender, receiver. First B1 bit. After sending B1, then B2, then B3 up to B8 serially. All the bits are sent serially one after the another at the time. This is the example. So first block diagram, then example, sender, receiver. Is sender and receiver has the parallel serial converter. Here only one line is there, only one wire. Using the wire, the sender can send the first bit. After sending the first bit, then next bit, then next bit, up to last bit. So the 8 bits are sent one after another. That is serially all the bits are sent. Then what are the advantages of serial transmission mode, sir? It can be used for long distance data transmission as it is reliable. The next advantage, the number of wires and complexity is less. Then third one, it is cost effective. Then what are the disadvantages of a serial transmission mode is the data transmission rate is slow due to a single transmission channel. Okay. Then synchronous. In the synchronous transmission mode is a mode of communication in which the bits are sent one after another without any start or stop bits or gap between them. Both the sender and receiver are paced by the same system clock. In this way, synchronization is achieved. Here, in the synchronous transmission mode, there is no start and stop bits are there. We consider this example. There are 2 bytes of data, 10001101. Another byte 11001011. Sender, receiver, direction. So all the bytes are sent. There is no start bit, there is no stop bit, there is no gap between the bytes. There is a synchronous mode. So what are the advantages and disadvantages of using synchronous transmission? Advantages is transmission speed is fast as there is no gap between the data bits. So without the gap, the transmission speed is very fast. Disadvantage, it is very expensive. Then asynchronous. In the asynchronous transmission mode is a mode of communication in which a start and stop bit is introduced in this message during transmission. The start and stop bits ensure that the data is transmitted correctly from the sender to receiver. The start bit is referred to 0 and end bit is 1, end bit or stop bit. Asynchronous means asynchronous at a byte level, but the bits are still synchronized. In the asynchronous mode of transmission, data bits can be sent at any point in time. The messages are sent at irregular intervals and only one data byte can be sent at a time. This type of transmission mode is best suited for short distance data transfer. So this is the asynchronous example. Sender, receiver. So number of bytes are there. See, between each bytes there is a gap is there. Okay. So here one example to represent the start bit and stop bit. So the data, there's a one information that consists 11111011. Here the stop bit is 1, start bit is 0. Thus the start bit is defined by 0. So each and every byte has one start bit and stop bit and data. So when you send number of bytes, each and every byte has the gap between the bytes. So this is a gap, then stop bit, start bit, then data. Here the data input, normally there's a keyboard. Using the keyboard only we can give the input to the computer. Then what are the advantages of synchronous transmission? First one, it is cheap and effective mode of transmission. Next one, data transmission accuracy is high due to the presence of start and stop bits. Then disadvantages is data transmission can be slower due to the gap present between different blocks of data. Because in the asynchronous transmission mode, there is a gap between the bytes. So if the gap present, the data transmission can be slower. Then one rate is used here, bird rate. The bird rate of transmission hardware is the number of changes in the signal per second that the hardware generates. Here, one more transmission mode is available, isochronous transmission. So, normally, isochronous transmission is used for the multimedia applications, but mostly used synchronous and asynchronous transmission mode. Isochronous transmission is designed to provide steady bit flow for multimedia applications. This type of network are designed to accept the data at a fixed rate, or it is ideal when delivering such data at a steady rate is essential. Network interface is set to transmit, receive exactly orbits per second. For example, the isochronous mechanism designed to transfer voice operate at the rate of 64,000 bits per second, because it is this type of transmission is used is isochronous transmission. Here that sender must generate digitized audio continuously. The receiver must be able to accept and play the stream of 64,000 bits per second. So these are the types of data transmission modes.